Hey guys, so I wasn't even going to do a video today, but I stumbled across this article, and it really just incensed me, and so now I have to make a video and talk about it. So, if you remember, I don't know if you remember Kathy Griffin. She is a D-list celebrity. She blew up like 5 years ago or something because she did that thing where she did the picture with the severed Donald Trump head or whatever. And regardless of what you think about Trump, I personally thought that it was just a piss poor attempt at attention, basically. I supported her right to do it, freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and whatnot. But I just thought it was silly. I just thought it was a desperate attempt for attention because her career is non-existent. It's floundering, has been floundering. I never even fucking heard of her before that. That's the only reason I know of her. Because of the Trump thing, because of the Trump severed head thing. That's the only reason I know about her. I didn't even know who the fuck she was even before that. I know that she's, I guess, an actress. She's a comedian. She fancies herself a comedian, I guess. But came across this article, and this is Breitbart. And at first I thought that since it's Breitbart, I thought that maybe it was a comedic article or it was not legit. But I searched it up, and I found several different articles about it, so this is legit. There were YouTubers reporting on this. I didn't even know about this. I hadn't even heard about this, which is interesting. But I just want to go through this article and read some of the things, and I mean, this really just highlights the delusion, the narcissism of these Amber Heard stans, these Amber Heard defenders, and yes, they are out there. I came across a bunch of them from this one post from Thomas Smith, who's a leftist soy boy pundit. You're not missing anything. And he was basically saying that, the people who side with Depp are delusional and just don't have the facts, and they should come forward when they have the full facts and live in reality and stuff like that, and just a bunch of nonsense like that. And there were like hundreds of people, just being like, "Oh, thank you, Thomas, for speaking the truth and for speaking up about this." It's fucking scary. And I personally am just under the impression that anyone who actually sides with her, ironically at this point, is just a massive narcissist, possibly a secret abuser themselves. I don't like making, I try to avoid making blanket statements like that, but it's like after hearing those recordings and finding out all of the malicious, malevolent shit that Heard did and said, how can you? Like, how can you side with someone like that, But like I said, I mean, it just goes to show, I think that everyone who unironically sides with her is just a massive, flaming narcissist. And a lot of them probably fancy themselves feminists, feminism, whatever. So, let's just go through this. And if I haven't already said, Kathy Griffin sides with Amber Heard. Let's see. So, Kathy Griffin has turned on actor Johnny Depp in the wake of his $15 million win in the Amber Heard defamation trial, calling the Pirates of the Caribbean star an orange, fat, bloated booze bag. Donald Trump with a ponytail. What? How is Depp anything like Trump? Like orange? Oh, zinger there. Very original in 2022. That hasn't been used before. What? And I think that the only, actually I know the only reason that she invokes Donald Trump is because, that was her most recent surge of fame. Is because now she's known as the attention whore who tried to do that thing, the severed Trump head, in a desperate attempt to get attention. I think that's the only reason that she invoked the Donald Trump thing. Or, no, I know that's the reason why she invoked the Donald Trump thing. Karam, excuse me, just give me a second here. And this was on CNN. Newsweek reports Griffin roasted Depp at the opening of a June 2nd call-in episode of CNN political analyst Brian Karem's Just Ask the Question podcast. Karem asked the comedian for her thoughts on the Depp-Heard trial. She quickly obliged, prefacing her comments by saying she is friends with Amber Heard, adding, "I completely believe her." Which I guess makes sense, you know, birds of a feather flock together. Attention whores have to flock together, I suppose, in this case. Griffin observed the verdict was really disturbing to her as a woman and a feminist. That's my favorite part right there, you know, that's my favorite part. And that really just, that's like my biggest problem with this whole thing. Like, you would figure, as a feminist, or at least, you know, by going by what the definition of a feminist is supposedly supposed to be, you would think that you'd be invested equally in both female and male abuse victims, and you would think that you would call out all abusers, you know, male and female. But what I'm seeing from a lot of people, again, who are taking Heard's side, is it seems to be a case of, if it's a woman, no wrong can be done. It doesn't matter what the woman did. You know, the woman can be an absolute lying, malevolent, evil piece of shit. It still doesn't matter. You know, it's just still a victim. You know, still the victim in the situation. Yeah, what she did might have been a little bit fucked, but it was the fault of this or the fault of that. I mean, it's every excuse in the book. See, I personally believe, I'm not a feminist. I don't consider myself to be a feminist, at least in the modern day sense. But see, I happen to think that women are people too. Like, much like men are people, women are people are people. And I think in a case like this, you know, a woman should be held just as accountable and just as responsible as a man would be in the situation. That's just me, though. That's just a fucking crazy idea, you know? That we would, you know, treat women as equals and hold them to the same standard of accountability as we would men in this day and age, but, you know, I guess not. I guess women are still special. She lamented the public response to the trial was a social media bloodbath and cautioned, "Me Too is not dead yet." Me Too has been dead for a few years now. Now, Me Too as an idea, as a message, perfectly fine. Good idea. You know, speaking out about your abuser and about the abuse that you went through, perfectly fine. You know, a noble message, a noble idea, a good idea. The execution of it, however, not so much. It basically became like a modern day Salem witch trials. And that's not to say that everyone who came forward was lying. I would think that a lot of people who did come forward were telling the truth. But you'd have to be really, really naive to think that every single person who came forward in that stretch of time when Me Too was really on fire, you'd have to be naive to think that there wasn't at least a few people who were lying. And I mean, Amber Heard was technically one of the faces of Me Too, you know, with her supposed experience. So that just kind of blows up in your face. I just think Depp is gross, she declared. These Johnny Depp stans that are talking about this trial and yet they refuse to show pictures of what he looks like now, which is a big orange fat bloated booze bag. He looks like Donald Trump with a ponytail. And so they keep sticking up for him and being like, Amber Heard is taking down Johnny, he's so gorgeous and dreamy. What do his looks have to do with anything? Like, for what it's worth, I saw Depp at the trial. The dude's like in his mid-50s, right? I think. Like, for a dude at that age, he looks pretty damn good. I mean, not that it matters, but because it doesn't, but I mean, for what it's worth, sticking up for him, he's so gorgeous and dreamy. People are sticking up for Depp because, like, Depp has actually done a lot of good things. Like, you know, I mean, first of all, you know, he's a good actor. And people are really invested in him for that, and also just for, again, the good things that he's done. He's, all in all, I mean, from what I've heard, a pretty decent guy. And, it's also just the principle that, an innocent man is being slandered and is potentially having his career ruined, by a attention-seeking, malevolent, opportunistic bitch. Griffin continued, I'm like, okay, he talks like Kanye when Kanye had his jaw wired. He has a fake accent like when Madonna turned British. So, who are we kidding here? Again, what does this have to do with anything? Karam agreed Depp's newfound accent was as confusing to him as it is to her. He's a Kentucky boy, so every time I hear that from him, I go, he didn't learn to speak like that in Kentucky, Karam said. He learned it from his idol Keith Richards, Griffin retorted. As Breitbart News reported, the jury in Fairfax County, Virginia courthouse decided Wednesday that Depp and Heard each wronged the other, though Depp was the more aggrieved party in a defamation suit and countersued the ring around the world. Yeah, give me a break. There was only one person wronged. And then it just goes over more details, but of the case, but yeah. So let's just take a moment to actually look at this for what it is right here, this whole exchange. Like, they're sitting there making fun of an abuse victim's accent and looks. Like, that's what this is. Like, that's fucked. That's completely fucked. And I'm sorry, I hate to say this, but like, let's say that let's say that Griffin, let's say it was a male comedian, right? Let's say it was some random male comedian, and it was, and I believe the host here was male as well. Let's just say it was two men going back and forth and making fun of a female abuse victim. They would be canceled so fucking so quickly. And as they would deserve to be, because it would be fucked. It would also be fucked in that situation. Of course it would be. But, like, the fact that they can go on, apparently this was on, like, some podcast with CNN or something, if they can go on and do this because it's a male abuse victim, like, it's fucked. Yeah, and that's the whole thing, is, like, all Heard had to do was simply accuse Depp of abuse, accuse him of all these malicious, fucked up things, and he immediately gets dropped from several film projects. He almost has his career completely ruined, probably even his personal life ruined, for a few years, and then have almost half the country and a good portion of the world thinking he's this abusive, evil, just asshole. All of that, and then when the truth actually comes out and is confirmed, like, Heard doesn't, there's been rumors going around that she's been removed from the Aquaman film, but they're just rumors. They've reduced her time. I made a video about that, but she hasn't even gotten completely removed from the film. And she certainly is one of the most hated people, certainly at least one of the most hated actresses right now. Probably the most hated, actually. So it's not as if she hasn't been canceled, but the fact that she still has, hundreds, probably even thousands of supporters who are defending her, even after all this, and the fact that she hasn't really suffered the same consequences as Depp suffered when he was merely accused, really says a lot, in my opinion. It really says a lot about the clear double standard. I haven't seen many people point that out. you know, they're calling out Heard as an abuser, and they're saying that it's fucked, and it is fucked, obviously. But I don't see many people calling out the double standard here, because there's obviously a double standard. You know. But yeah, so Kathy Griffin, everyone, still an attention whore. Yeah, so it's not surprising that Heard would have friends like that. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Yeah, this is completely fucked. Yeah, just let me know what you guys think. I'll link the article below. And yeah, so I might do a follow-up video. I do want to talk about this case more broadly, just giving my overall thoughts and whatnot. I might do that sometime soon, hopefully. But yeah, so peace. Have a good day.